Welcome back to today's episode powered by Fit for Change. I have Lee and Austin joining us. How you guys doing?
Pretty dang good. How about yourself?
It's a gorgeous day in Chilliwack. A little drizzling out there, a little bit of raindrops outside, but still the sunshine is there.
I think we need to podcast a little more because it seems like every day we podcast, it's a beautiful day.
It didn't start out well, but the sun came out.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
That's a good one, Austin. When we podcast, the sun comes out.
Yeah,
There
it
you go.
just knows. So maybe we got to do this daily from now on.
That's great. I understand you have a 4-week challenge coming up. Tell me more about that.
Our 4-week challenge is something that we designed and figured everyone's able to get back into the gym swing of things. Now summer's coming along. We're all getting ready for the summer body, all those sorts of things. We just designed this little 4-week challenge to help people get involved a little bit more, maybe try some different things that they haven't tried at our facility. Essentially, within 4 weeks, we want you to attend our gym 4 times, twice in the weight room doing a workout, which if that's not your forte or your place to be, we've made up a couple easy to understand and use exercises to help you try all the different sections that we have, from free weights to body weight to machines and cables, a little bit of everything so you can become familiar with the space.
Okay.
As well as attending 2 classes of your choice. So obviously we've got boxing, we've got Zumba, we've got tone up, spinning, you name it, there's something there that you could try. Or if you already have something in mind, something that you'll like for sure. And then this way too, you can get that opportunity if you don't go to classes to just try something else. We know some people, it's hard for them to get out of their comfort zone. So we figured put in a little challenge together might incentivize them to try and do it. We'll have a big board set up behind the front desk where everyone can put their name so that we can, as a community, hold each other accountable and be there for each other and see our progress as we go. And then everyone who completes it will get something. I believe we'll have a shirt or something for them to have. And then everyone who does complete it will also be entered in for a draw with a little gift package with a couple shirts, a gift bag, bottles, things like that.
It's a good opportunity to spring into summer and get ready. And also, it's not a challenge that has a specific date to start. You're going against yourself. So we'll run it for a couple months and give people the opportunity to get on track. And it's based on the day you start to your 4 weeks. So you could have somebody that started 2 weeks before you and you're still competing against them in your own way, but it's your competition with yourself. But for the draw and for your own victory and your success, after the 4 weeks is over is when you celebrate and get entered into the draw. You're going to do 2 classes a week. So you pick those 2 classes and then you're going to have a workout plan that's going to be given to you, or you could do your own, but you have to do that a couple times a week. So you're committing to 4 times a week. So about 4 hours, maybe 4 45-minute sessions. And then you're getting off to the races and you're getting ready for summer. So everybody's going to have that opportunity to kick off summer, spring into it. So that's the whole idea. And this also helps with creating a habit. If you wanted to try something new and if you like it, once you've done 3 weeks, and in this case, you're doing 4, if you like it, you've created your habit and you're off to the races and you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. When does it start?
Basically, it could start today. That's the whole point, is that we've set up 8 to 10 weeks that make it available so people can start whenever they want, or they can start in 2 weeks if they know they're not going to be able to make it for the first. We wanted to give that a little bit of flexibility so that people could also, maybe they don't even know that it's going on and then they see the big board up there and they want to get on in. So yeah, like you said, that deadline will be July 1st of when we decide to actually do the draw and everything, but you can start as soon as today.
Okay, that's exciting. And I know for those who are fairly new to Fit for Change, they may see equipment there that they don't see at other gyms. There's some differences. Lee, you want to unpack some of the differences of equipment and approaches to training?
Sure. Yeah, when we created Fit for Change, having 14,000 square feet, we wanted to make it so that there's some movement throughout the building, but also that you're getting some converging equipment, which works out the muscle in a different way than, say, a free weight would, as well as there's multifunctional equipment. And not even to mention there's a 360 section, which more is a cross-functional trainer. So even when it gets busy, there's still lots of room to go maybe do, say, a chest press, but you also want to look at the diversity of the opportunity there, because when you use a piece of converging equipment versus, say, a free weight versus a multifunctional, you're actually using different parts of the muscle. So I say to everybody when I tour them through that, you want to try out the different ones and try to mix it up because it's good for the muscle and also well rounds it out. So it's a good opportunity on that front. And also it just gives us that ability to move throughout the building. And it's a good opportunity through the community too, because there's such great people here. You're able to wave hi and say hi.
It's awesome.
Well, and like it gives you that ability to try out some of the equipment that maybe you haven't seen before, knowing that it does accomplish, or maybe you might like one piece better than the other, but you just know that you're familiar with free weights.
Hmm.
So you start to change that up a little bit, like
Mhm.
you said, shock your body and maybe shock your routine in a good way.
What's also interesting about our multifunctional equipment, as an example, is that for those that have been around for a while when it comes to working out, they remember the old Apex type equipment. It's twice the size of these pieces of equipment and it does one body part. Now they're half the size and they do four. So when you go into that multifunctional area, you're looking at it thinking, okay, well, there's about 15 pieces of equipment. No, you actually got 2 to 4 body parts in each one of those. So you're actually getting a full workout there, and it's way better than the old Apex stuff, which was clunky and big and did one body part, but now it's designed in a way that it's really efficient.
Hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lee. I walk up the stairs,
Yeah.
and to my right, that back room there is the free weight area. Is that where the multifunctional equipment is that you're referring to?
That's where the converging
That's the
equipment is, and the
converging
free weight.
equipment. Okay, the
Yeah.
yellow colored ones.
Yeah, that's the converging equipment. So it's designed that every push and pull is isolated as well as on an angle that gives something different than you would with the free weight or the multifunctional. The multifunctional is to the left when you walk up into the building.
Okay.
You see all of those pieces of equipment there. So they're the ones that you got 2 to 4 functions. They're set up pretty straightforward, but they just have more ability and more technology than the old Apex
Okay.
equipment used to.
So if
When people get to the top of the stairs, they look around, they say it's pretty big, but they don't even yet at that point get to see the group rooms or even the converging equipment and the free weights. That's around the corner from there.
correct. Okay, so I walk up the stairs. Immediately to my left is going to be the multifunctional equipment, which is
Correct.
before the cross-functional 360 big beast right there.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Okay.
And the 360 is one of those pieces of equipment that I don't know anywhere else that has specifically this one. It's fairly large. It does a whole bunch of different cross-functional training. You basically can go in there and work out on your own, and you've got the tire flip, you've got the monkey bars, you've got
Mhm.
everything. You have to really see. You can see it on our website too, but it's worth taking a look. But it's even expanded over the years since we
Okay.
started 3 years ago. And there's a lot of opportunity to get some diverse training there and just change things up and get your body out of that muscle memory it's used to and just shake it up.
Mm.
And it gives a good opportunity to come away with good workout and feeling your muscles in a different way.
What is one member's feedback about using the converging equipment that you remember? Has anybody mentioned something?
The most common comment that I would get is that they don't see this equipment
Mhm.
everywhere very often. So it is that isolating, it is that rounding out the muscle.
Just the way that the handles are positioned in a little bit different way than what they're naturally maybe used to. And they don't realize how just these simple little changes that are on the machines are actually helping them target the muscles in a little bit of a different way that might help them see better results too.
Circling back to the challenge, if I trained on converging and I trained on multifunctional, is that considered two different stations?
I guess essentially the way that we tried to set up our workout plan for
Mhm.
people was to maybe tap into a bit of each section so that you're going to get those different feels. You're obviously not going to be going to do chest in 4 different areas, but
Mhm.
on one day you might do chest on the converging equipment. The next
Okay.
day you might do chest on the multifunctional equipment, and just
Okay.
different ways so that they can get a little more familiar with what the equipment does and maybe
Mhm.
see if they can add that to their everyday routine.
And some people might say, look, I'm not really interested in doing a challenge where I have to do a couple classes because classes aren't my thing. Understand that they can do the 360 as a class. And that's
Ah.
cross-functional training. So that's an opportunity to shake things up and do it differently and still be considered as part of a class. So you could jump into that twice a week. And also we run those ad hoc too. If anybody says, hey, can you turn on the light and put the stations up for us so that we can do that? We can run those pretty much anytime. So it is an opportunity to be considered a class too. And I think we'd be pretty flexible to count that in as a class, even if it's just us turning on the light for you and you doing the 360 for 35 minutes. And by the way, doing it for more than 35 minutes, it's a good workout. You get your cardio in, you get all the muscle groups, you get everything. It's really good that way.
That's right. Wow. Okay. That's great. I know that you have a couple of wins internally. Maybe you can share with some of the members what you guys been working on over a couple, 3 years, and what kind of wins you've had.
The vision here with over almost 14,000 square feet has been to do it in compartments so that we could make sure that we're doing customer service and treating our members well and putting that at the forefront, but also expanding as we can because 14,000 square feet is a lot. We are almost at the end of that. We just finished putting in our personal training room, which is also our small group training room.
Okay.
As well as all the 360 has been finished. We just redesigned some of the cardio sections. We redesigned some of the multifunctional sections. We're adding new equipment. We added some more equipment. We're one of the only places between here and Vancouver that I know. I think there's one in Langley that has an Ergometer, which is for the dragon boaters. So we want to get that out to the dragon boat world to let them know because in the off season they could really train here, and that's something that was it was
Did not
exciting.
know. Okay. Tell me more about the Dragon Boat meter. What kind of equipment are we talking about?
So it's an ergometer, and what it is, it almost looks like a rowing machine, except for there's a paddle that sits on the top. It's a half a paddle, and it's onto a chain. And you get to decide on your direction, basically deciding which part of the dragon boat you're in, because that's the
Okay.
angle that you're on.
Yeah.
And then when you start, you're going like this with the chain, and it actually just completely mimics the motion of rowing. So you get to decide whether you're the person on the back. There's a seat for the person that would sit on the back of the boat, as well as the other positions which sit the same. So it really just mimics the dragon boat. And we've got such a large dragon boat community here that we're excited about this. We haven't really advertised it much yet because it came in the middle of COVID. But now that we're outside of that, we're going to let people know about it. And I know that will really hit when dragon boat season's over, because the off season's a perfect time for them to train with this. And
Mhm.
what we've heard from the dragon boat community is that they end up using the rowing machines, but it doesn't really mimic the style and what they need to keep up on and make sure that they're practicing. So this gives them the complete benefit of that. And we're excited about it because we have Cultus Lake, you have Harrison, you have
That's right.
great dragon boat community between both of them. And we're in the middle of that. So it's a great opportunity. And we're excited that we're the only one in Chilliwack that has it. Actually, I think between here and Langley.
That's exciting. Is that launched? Is that ready to go or not yet?
Yeah, it's been set up for a couple months.
Wonderful. All right.
As well as we're just at the final part of redesigning our converging and the free weight room and adding one more squat rack. And then we're pretty much done in there. We've expanded as much as we need to at this point to make sure that it's got less room for our members.
And we've, had the privilege of getting lots of good customer feedback and being able to see what is needed or what's needing an extra piece. So like you say, a squat rack, bringing in that, making it so we've got 3 squat racks available at all times, ends up making a better customer experience. And it's helped us be able to pivot in a really good way.
Yeah.
Right.
The changes are definitely driven by the members. We've got a vision, but it has to be a vision with the community. It was a little bit of a challenge through COVID with having to do the 6 feet distancing and all of that. And I think we did that pretty well. We're very fortunate to have 14,000 square feet to be able to do that. So we were able to keep moving along well. But at the same time, now that's being minimized a bit. We are still leaving bigger gaps than we did before, but we've got lots of room to finalize our redesign. So we're excited about it, and it's very close to complete.
That's awesome. We're coming to the close of this episode. Any final words from both of you?
We're heading into a great season here. I know it's starting to get beautiful outside, at least when we podcast. We can't wait to see some new faces coming in and come check out, try out the new challenge.
That's right.
And
That's right. Lee?
Yeah,
final
for me, I think it doesn't matter what you're going to do. Everybody wants to get ready for summer, and we're coming out of COVID where people are wanting to get outside. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to travel. They want to do all these different things. So we've got a few months before we're into the middle of summer. Come get active. You get active outside, but you can also have a plan here. We've got this 4-week challenge for you to get you started. We'll give you guidance. We've got trainers that can help, free consults, as well as our staff's amazing, and they're willing to help at any time, even if it's just a spot. So we're looking forward to seeing you here, and we're thankful that we're at that point where we can spring into summer.
That's wonderful. If I'm not mistaken, Fit for Change has AC on in the summertime. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Sherman. Thanks for bringing it up, because one of the things that I learned with Holly down in California when she was working there before she came up here is that 2 things in California I noticed was that they love to get out to the beach to cool off, but they also love to go to the gym to cool off. So we took that concept up here and we said, we're funny in BC. If we have hot weather for a couple of weeks, we're already complaining it gets too hot. So what do we want to do at Fit for Change? We want to say, let's keep it cool in here so that people will come Well, I might not be going to the lake today, but I'm going to go to Fit for Change to cool off and go to a class or go work out. So that's our goal in summer, is to make sure that it's not too cold, but it's cool enough that you can come in here and just enjoy your time and enjoy the people.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for covering so much info in today's episode about the 4-week challenge, the differences, the different stations, multifunctional, converging stations, the ergometer for dragon boats, the winds that you guys have, and also the AC for the summertime to cool off.
There you go.
So until next time, in the next episode, join us again next week for another Fit for Change podcast.